guys, Pajamas here. Welcome back to another video. My name is Pajamas, but you could call me Payden if you would like to. Mac Miller, Circles. That's the album I'm reviewing today. Now, before I get into the actual album review itself, I would like to mention that I did say I was going to review Eminem's Music Not to Be Murdered or whatever. I didn't like it too much, but there were some things I liked in it. And overall, it was just a very mediocre album, and it was kind of boring. So, because of that, I'm not going to review it. I'm not even going to give it a rating. So, yeah, that's why I'm not making a video on that. Anyway, Mac Miller's Circles. So, Mac Miller is a rapper, artist. He probably was in his 20s, and he's dead. He's dead, he's gone, he's not on this earth anymore. Now, I was never a fan of him, I never really listened to any of his prior music, but I did hear that this was like his best thing that he's ever put out, so I decided to listen to it, and overall, this is really amazing. Now, I can't compare this to any of his prior stuff, because I've never heard of it, but I'm assuming, because he's known as a rapper, that he's made rap albums in the past. This isn't rap. This isn't rap. This is not at all rap. Now, this album was made after his death. So, usually, on a lot of albums, like, for example, Skins by XXXTentacion, that would kind of count against it, because he wasn't there to finish it off. But luckily, Mac Miller already had like 80% of this album done before he actually made it, so it turned out really well. Some of it does feel unfinished, but to me, that's just the beauty of it. That's just the beauty of it. I don't see really anything wrong with this album. The album starts out with a nice, smooth start, and then the vocals come in, and it's so crisp, and it's so well done. He's a really good singer. He's really good at singing. I promise you, he's really good at singing. It almost feels like I'm driving through a Suburban, and like I'm in that car, and I'm just driving, and that's all this album is. It's just me driving through the Suburban. There's no, and then there's no, it's more like, it's like, that's not like a melody from the album, but that's what it feels like. It's not explosive, it's not ballad, you're just driving through a Suburban, and I love it. That's amazing. The production on this thing is just through the roof. I honestly can't think of an album that has better production, with the exception of like almost every single Kendrick Lamar album. That's how good the production is on this thing. As I was listening to this album through the whole thing, start to finish, I started to notice I can just vibe to this. Now, personally, I'm not one of those music listeners that listens to albums to vibe to. I just listen to them for the meaning that they're trying to convey. But I actually ended up downloading this album on my phone. I ended up downloading Mac Miller Circles on my phone so I can vibe to this. I now understand what it's like to vibe to music. Turn on, computer. The synths throughout this whole entire album is the best part. That is the best part of the whole album. Better than the production. The synths. The synths. Woo! So crisp. They're so good. I really like the synths on this album. The beginning of Blue World, which I believe is the second track, might be the first. I believe it's the second track though. It's insane. It's a great opener. The lyrics are almost genius on this. Not almost, in fact, they are genius on this album, or on this song specifically. Not because it's innovative and not because it's spectacular and amazing, because it works for what this song was trying to say and for what the song was trying to do. And I do respect that, and I think that is amazing. Not the best lyrics on the album, but definitely the best lyrics possible for what this song could have been. Good news. Oh, man. Good news. This song, it almost made me cry. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, if an album makes me cry, it's an instant 10 out of 10, because you don't really get that with a lot of stuff like that, right? But this did not make me cry, so I'm not gonna give this album a 10 out of 10. And even if it did make me cry, I think I would cheat and not give this a 10 out of 10, because it's not. I'll get to that later. But like, man, this song is just depressing, and I think if Mac Miller was still alive, this song wouldn't be as depressing. It's just the fact that he's talking about how he's gonna die someday, and even though he's gonna die someday, his life he has so much to live for, and he's just proud that he's there to live life. And this song's depressing because he's dead. Synths in this song specifically are probably the best synths on the whole album. I Can See is super deep. It's like probably the deepest song on this album. The song Everybody is a huge jam. Considering it's a cover, it's a great addition to the album. Not the best song, probably one of the weaker tracks, but still, really solid track. I like it. Now, my boy, Brad Taste. Just look him up on YouTube. Brad Taste. He's a YouTuber. He said in his review for this album that like the beginning few tracks from the beginning to Everybody was really, really good. And then like every song from Woods to That's On Me is just like 10 out of 10 territory. Woods, it's extremely catchy. It sounds great. It's very psychedelic. He managed to fit a psychedelic track in a suburban style album. You don't get that very often. Hand-Me-Downs has great lyrics, and it features this guy named Baru Sora. Probably butchering that name. I've never heard of him before, but he contributes very well to this song. That's On Me is very simple, but it's really good. The simplicity makes this song amazing. Hands is a very odd track. It's very odd, but it's pretty good. It's very solid. I like it. Now to get to the weaker points of this album, this is what knocks it from being a 10 out of 10. And even if every song was a 10 out of 10, I would give it a 9 because the production's amazing, but I feel like because he was dead, there still could have been more to it. Like if he was still alive, I bet this would have been way better. Honestly, I bet it would have been way better. But I did download the album, and that says a lot. Surf is an okay track. It's lyrically there, but it's too simple for this album. Now, I did say that That's On Me is a simple song, but take the simplicity of that and bring it to Surf. Surf is just... it's too simple for how much good lyrics it has. And the only bad part of this album is the song Once a Day, which is not a bad song on this album. It's just the outro is so bad. It's a great track, but it has the worst ending. It doesn't tick me off. It doesn't bring me to rage mode, but it does make me a little disappointed that that's how they ended that song. My favorite songs on this album were Blue World, Good News, I Can See, Everybody, Woods, and Hand-Me-Downs, and my least favorite was Surf. For not being a fan of Mac Miller, not listening to his prior stuff, and considering he died, this is amazing. This is really, really good. For most people, like XXXTentacion, he was not treated well after his death. And he got a bunch of crap released that he probably didn't want to release. You can tell that Mac Miller wanted this to be released. He wanted us to hear this. And that's why I love this album. I'm shocked. I really am. I was not expecting this. I was expecting some rap crap, honestly. It does feel a bit unfinished, but that's the beauty of it. I'm giving this album an 8 out of 10. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to join my Discord, that's more important than subscribing to me at this point. It's down below, so you can check out everything that I've been up to, because I don't upload too often. I upload often, but not like other YouTubers do, because I have a busy life. And I strive to upload often, but I have a busy life. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. That would be very appreciated. Like the video if you liked it. Honestly, like the video if you liked it, and dislike it if you dislike. If you made it this far, I'm very proud of you, because you are a good boy if you made it this far. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this album. I hope everybody who liked this album, disliked this album, like me, dislike me, will have a great rest of their lives. See you later, guys.